Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome. Have an interesting session for us today to wrap up a lot of what we've been talking about and allow us to move into our next journey. So, looking forward to sharing a lot of info today. If you get a chance, please give me a thumbs up in the chat. Just want to make sure that you are hearing me, receiving me, and everything technology-wise is working as expected. So, let me get things started here. So let's just get that turned on. Yep, great, welcome. Thank you, see you in a moment. Let me now switch a couple of these. Thanks, great. Let's do that. And I might just turn this on just in case anyone wants that information down the road. Okay, so very excited. Lots going on as usual. Nothing stays still around here. We're constantly evolving. And if you're not aware, the world's changing much faster. When I started my career and technology was really just starting to surface, it took us a long time to get access to the information that we have access today. The volume of information that is available today, it's getting faster and faster, and AI is just changing the way we're doing things. So I hope you're keeping up. My role is to help you make that journey easier. And so that's why today's topic is about all of the tools and resources that will be made available to our network members. So let me see if I can get my clicker working. Here we go. All right, so purpose of today is to share with you as much as I can about the opportunity, the network, the tools. There's just so much information that I've collected in my career that I'm able to, fortunately now at this juncture in my career, I'm able to share a lot of this pro bono with people that want to participate. So what I'll be covering is some of the tools, templates, in general terms. I'm not going to get on the computer and show you a whole bunch of stuff, but if you've worked with me and you've attended some of the sessions, you probably have seen some of the things that we are doing, and there's more that's coming, and that's exciting. In fact, let me just switch screens for a moment here. I've got the cookbooks coming out. If you want access to these, there's going to be 2 volumes, Leadership Intelligence and Coaching Intelligence. So those 2 volumes will be coming out. And if you want access to those, there's other volumes and courses that are being introduced. There's a lot happening. And you'll be able to take advantage of that just by joining our network. There's no pressure, there's no sales. It's really about sharing and collaborating at a heightened level of business and behavior intelligence. Those 2 things constantly go together. It doesn't matter whether, and I'm repeating myself right now, it doesn't matter whether you're a small business or a major corporation, there is always 2 parts to what is going on in the workplace. There's the tasks and the people. And you can't separate those. And, our focus, our intention is to really make people realize or get people to realize that you can learn all this stuff. It doesn't have to be complicated. You don't need to be a tech expert. You don't need to be a psychologist or a behavior specialist. You just need to participate in these sessions and apply the simple steps that we give you. The cookbook is also very powerful. Why it's called that is it's giving you situational recipes and what to do, right? So you can actually just follow the steps in each recipe, depending on your situation. There's over 400 of those that I've collected, and the list keeps growing. So I hope you'll join me. Why I'm doing that? I've been really fortunate in my career because I started my career in technology and was there for the early announcements and releases of personal computers and ATMs and all kinds of things that I've been involved in as an early adopter and a leader and innovator in that field. So, but then came the behavioral sciences. NLP was part of the journey that I've been fortunate to participate in. The psychology, the behavioral science, the research that I've done is just phenomenal. And that's why I'm now sharing a lot of this information, making a lot of it available for you pro bono as part of our membership and our community. So the portal is important, and today really going to recap some of the things that are in that and things that I've talked about so that we can push into next month, diving into a lot of those recipes, a lot of those opportunities to evolve your leadership to the next level, evolve your coaching to the next level. I think the two also need to be more intertwined. Leaders need to learn how to be better coaches. It's not just about being good at your job. It's about being a great leader. Okay. And we know from past experience that many organizations often promote people because they're good at their job, not because they are good at managing people. So the transition into leadership is often difficult. It's often fraught with failures. There's all kinds of things that are really getting in the way of the success of leadership. And we need to recognize that they're a reality. That's just the way things happen, the way business happen. And so this becomes the graduate course and the master's level certification to then shift out of just being great at your job to being a great leader. Also recognizing that your knowledge, having done that job, is a critical, integral part, but it skews your judgment, it skews your observation of others, how your biases and filters based on your own experiences come into play, and how are you going to deal with all of that? So those things is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to really how we talk about leadership, how we talk about coaching, and the tools that are being made available to simplify it and accelerate your success in that journey. Okay, so we'll talk about, I should just step back and say, I've run lots of businesses, I've started lots of businesses, I've been in the corporate world, I've been a VP of a public company, I've done many things. So when we talk about SOPs, I can dive into SOPs with you both at the business operational level, but there's the element that's missing most of the time is the behavioral element, the leadership intelligence, as we call it. So business intelligence tools are on the business side, and we run regular masterclasses. There are recorded sessions. You don't have to be constantly in front of the computer listening to me. You can do this on your own time, or you can access them live, attend the mastermind groups, etc. The flip side is, as I mentioned, is the behavioral side of things. The interaction with people, the dynamics that takes place, the communication styles, the thinking styles. All of these are really important. I'm going to flip back and just say, for business to succeed or for departments to succeed, they need to do both the operational things and be great at leading people, the behavior shift. And we're launching a mini version of AccuMatch for specific areas to help people get into this more easily and without having to really learn the whole system. So there's lots of tools coming out. We're launching some new AI to help with understanding and interpreting video recordings, to offer more guidance specific to the way we look at behavior intelligence. And I have to say this, it's really important, and that is, in order to innovate, we often need to break away with tradition. We need to break the mold, if you like, so we've done that. A lot of the tools that we've had in the past, they just weren't getting us to that next level. And so we've had to do away with a lot of stuff and say, no, we're not going to just do what everybody else has done. We're going to break the mold. Yes, we're going to take the learnings from all of those tools and we're going to elevate that. We're going to reinvent it, if you like, instead of having shifted from, square wheels to round wheels, we're now going to spherical wheels that can move in multiple directions, so we've had to break away with the traditional thinking of wheels are just two-dimensional, and now we need to go into three-dimensional and be able to shift in many different directions. So when we talk about AccuMatch and the behavioral intelligence, the leadership intelligence, we're really challenging you to step out of the box, think outside the 9 dots or outside the box thinking, because that's where you will differentiate yourself. That's where you will excel and exceed past barriers, if you like. As I mentioned earlier, things are moving so fast at the moment. Even I'm excited about how fast things are moving. A lot of people are surprised. They go, hey, shouldn't you be, retiring, getting ready to retire? This is an exciting time. I'm having so much fun with the behavioral science and how it impacts business and people and so forth. So AI is allowing us to do that. Technology is allowing us to do that. It's just how quickly can people really assimilate this information, not just take it in. I use the word assimilate often, and I mean it. And assimilation means repeating it enough times so your body, almost like eating food. If you don't chew it enough times, your body's going to have trouble assimilating it, consuming it properly. And the same with information. When I talk about courses, education, I want people not to just read the book or attend the course and just go away. Statistics show us that people remember less than 10% of what they read or what they attend. We want to increase that to at least 50% through practice, through assimilation. And those that laser focus can actually, we've seen people achieve a 90% assimilation where they just, it just blows my mind just seeing the success that people have had with this. And we'll share a lot of those stories. It's been an amazing journey and would love for you to be a part of that. All right. So, to get back to my slides here, the leadership coaching resources, we've got lots of tools for coaches. but they're also the same tools for leaders. I keep saying that. They're structured, they're customizable, you can tailor them. The software solutions that we've developed to allow you to track things, to run your business more successfully, and we keep evolving and adding more functionality into that. I mentioned the Leadership Intelligence Cookbook. This is just something that, I'm going, why haven't I released this years ago? Right? So I'm excited that we're finally doing that, and working with some amazing coaches around the world, working with thousands of leaders. We've done tens of thousands of these, so it's really cool to see that. The coaching framework, the methodology, the behavior intelligence methodology, and that framework is becoming integral to bringing around what has been thrown around quite a bit, the pivot or transformation. These buzzwords are wonderful, but what do they mean? Okay, and unless you actually dissect them and break them down into their true meaning, and by meaning I don't mean the thinking only, I mean the actual tasks, actions, the behaviors, okay, that deliver the true transformation. And we often talk about, is the why first or the how and what first, and it's both, right? So you need to understand that you can't just sit in a room and meditate and focus on your why without actually doing anything to support that. You've got to do things, you've got to execute, you got to behave, you got to act out something in order to get that feedback that reinforces your beliefs, your values, your direction, your intention. And often your behaviors are going to be the wrong behaviors. That's what we call, failing forward, if you like. You need to fail a few times in order for you to become good at something. And when you do that enough times, that's what I call assimilation. You've assimilated it, you've shifted it from a conscious, deliberate effort to an unconscious, automatic, easy to execute behavioral patterns. Okay, and if you're lazy like me, you want to get to that level as quickly as possible. So practice and alert, focus, deliberate accountability, and practice is key to all of that. We have our mastermind groups. We've got amazing people, panelists that help with that. The amount of support that exists in our network is just brilliant. So, I've been in lots of networks and I've been in lots of business, and this is by far the one that is laser focused. It's not a sales network. It is laser focused on understanding business and understanding behaviors. So I look forward to seeing you in that. Yes, there are ebooks, there are workbooks, there is books that you'll be able to buy, there are courses that you can access, and there's a lot of free stuff. And let's face it, there is going to be some paid stuff that we need to stay in business as well, so we can keep growing and evolving and delivering more tools. The workbook, the cookbook, it's been called many things. The companion, I'm trying to think what we used to call those, cheat books that we used to get when we were graduating, and all the formulas, things like that. So this is kind of the same thing. It's like the cheat sheets. Coles notes used to be called. Companion is another word for those. So these are really useful tools that we'll dive into those a lot more detail. The cookbooks are great, but there's 400 different things that you would need to have many volumes. It actually reminds me, one of the methodologies that I helped launch was 16 volumes within the business reengineering model, the Catalyst methodology. We had to really learn and develop and implement all of those different segments within that. So yes, I've seen that, and this might end up being like that. So not that you're going to have to read and learn 13 volumes or 16 volumes, but you'll be able to go to the one that you need right now. Okay, so that journey is going to be very exciting. I'm excited. Again, I'm giving away a lot of stuff. Okay, that's my intention over the coming years. AI, we're able to do so much more with much less effort than we used to be able to. Tim Ferriss, the 1 hour work week or the 40-hour week is, I'm trying to remember the name of the book, sorry. The one, okay, so that is becoming a reality because of AI. You do 1 hour to do what we used to take 40 hours, which is pretty cool to be able to do that. So those that are really excited about life balance and lifestyle, the journey ahead is just fantastic. And be careful with that. Life balance to one person is going to be different to another person. Life balance to someone who loves the great outdoors is going to be a lot more outdoors. Someone who loves innovation and exercising their brain, if you like, is going to be more excited about research and science and things like that. So your life balance is about what you value, okay? And we need to remember that when we judge others about their life balance through our own lens of what we believe life balance should be, okay? It's just my observation, my needs, my values of what that is. So careful with how we throw around that life balance statement. Again, I digress, but these are important points. Automation, we've built servers and systems to make sure that, if you're looking to grow with email, because email is still very powerful if you use it right, and that's what we've been working on. We're developing lots of automated workflows, and these are going to be part of the templates that we provide, so that all you have to do is plug and play, right? Install it, run it on our system, and you get thousands and thousands of dollars in savings by just taking those templates and plugging them into your business, implementing them. If you need help with that, we've got experts that are in place to do that. The CRM, the scheduling, the integration, we do away with all of that because we've built systems and we've integrated systems to automate all of that back end, right? Again, the AI and the automation that's possible today, my God, you should be leveraged to the hilt by actually doing that and implementing these things. But most people are afraid to do that. So, if you're afraid, that's great opportunity. It means you've got opportunity for growth. If it was comfortable, it means you already know it. So this is an opportunity for you to elevate your knowledge, to evolve your lifestyle, your business, to take your expertise to a whole new level. So this is all on the business side, and I'll talk about the behavior stuff in a moment as well. So, automating through best practices, proven methods, we've seen all of the, not all, but a lot of the failed attempts, that have caused people's phone numbers to be blocked, or their email accounts to be blocked, their domains get blocked, and it's due to the abuse, if you like, or if it's not abuse, it's often just a basic misunderstanding of what you can do, what you can't do. Unfortunately, we live in a world where, if people abuse things, we end up with new regulations. And those regulations sometimes become law, and those laws have fines and all kinds of things attached to them. So by learning what is acceptable and not having to go through that whole learning curve and just leverage the systems that we've developed, you're going to accelerate everything that you do. You're going to be very successful a lot more quickly. Okay. The BizDMP platform, that's our business digital marketing platform. It's actually becoming a lot more than that. It's a business operational platform. It's a marketing platform. And it's also becoming the coaching and leadership platform. So when we first introduced the name, we thought that it was just going to be the marketing. But as I mentioned, we're not standing still. Things are evolving. Things are happening. We are constantly progressing. We're leveraging new tools. We're innovators. So we're often at the bleeding edge and trying to figure things out before anybody else has, so that we can be at the leading edge, where it's actually working and proven. You don't have to be the bleeding edge, because we've been there. We've done that. I don't know how many times I've done that. It's kind of my passion to explore new things, break with those traditions, to recreate and develop new ways of doing things. Solving problems, it's a habit and a passion. Okay. The platform really brings a lot of these tools together in one place, so you don't have to worry about integration. You're not manually transferring stuff from one place to another. It's all already integrated. You just use it, and you're saving lots of costs on the many different tools, but you're also saving a lot of time, which is money, right? In trying to get all these things together, or hiring people to help you deal with the automation, the integration. We have it all. Actually, it's becoming that all is a reality. I don't like using the word all as encompassing every possibility. But in this case, I was just with someone last week on one client who was a real estate company, and they were looking to link their properties, their sellers, their buyers, and they wanted to put all of that within the platform if it was possible. And the answer was yes. We were able to help them extend that business into all those areas. So, the ability to now not only use what's already there, but quickly extend the ability to match that to the way you do business. Okay. When I started my consulting career, one of the challenges that we saw with Fortune 100 companies back then was, when they're looking at technology, do they take a product off the shelf and change how they do business to match how the tool needed to work? Or do they not do that and create it all in-house because they are so unique in the way they do things that taking something off the shelf would dilute their uniqueness? You may think I'm digressing a little bit, but today you don't have to do that. You can take BizDMP off the shelf and you can custom a lot of functionality. We've already done that with many people, and it's simple, easy. You don't have to be a programmer. If you're prepared to just sit and work through some of the steps that we've done, you can turn this into a custom solution that doesn't dilute your identity, your differentiation. So there are courses, there's certifications, there are all kinds of, I call them on-demand growth programs, and that means that when you come across a situation of something you don't know how to do, you can access one of the courses or access one of our team members, contact me for support, or access the cookbooks. So it's more on-demand growth than training where you do the whole course from start to finish and you only use 5% of it. Okay. On demand means you're actually using more than 50% of what you learn, and it's more just in time approach than just taking courses that contain a lot of stuff that you don't need. And we can do that in the network because we're able to break things up into smaller chunks, makes it more palatable and easier to do. There are certifications that I've developed that are becoming international standards, and you want to be part of that, you want to take advantage of that, please join us. Okay. So again, I think some of these slides repeat themselves a little bit. So this is really, again, expanding on how everything ties together, whether you're doing marketing, lead gen, onboarding, delivery, operations, coaching, leadership. The bottom line is when you leverage technology and systems and processes, you free up your time. So systems equal freedom, okay? And that maybe should be bolded. It's an important message. And you get the chaos under control, So when you have to react to everything all the time, you're not in control, okay? The world is controlling you. We're shifting that so that you control what you work on, okay? And the system takes care of the rest. The community is huge. It's going to really change people's lives. We're already seeing that. The people that have been able to scale, the people that have been able to reduce their working hours, doing less hours, getting more results with their time. The ability to have forms, quizzes, funnels, website, delivery, automated workflows, sending out email campaigns, even AI answering the phone for you or interacting with people on social media through AI. All of that is part of what the world means today, okay? If you're sitting back going, oh my God, no, we shouldn't be doing that. The reality is you're already been left behind, okay? So catch up or, be left behind, as I said. So if you've missed some of those past sessions, they're on the BIQ.Network events page. Catch up, you don't have to try and eat everything in one mouthful. Just take it in small bites, assimilate it, learn it. If you have questions, reach out, join the network. BIQ.Network couldn't be easier than that. Okay, whether BIQ is behavior intelligence or BIQ is business intelligence, it's the network. Okay. And it's a community portal with lots of people like yourself, okay? If you feel like this is going to be scary and challenging, you're going to be with other people that are in the same boat, our role is to make it easier for you. I hope I'm kind of giving you that perspective today. March, I spent a lot of time on strategy and business tools and AI. Last month, we did more behavioral stuff. This month is more about the ecosystem, we call it. And now we can jump into some of the specifics into next month. All right, so you will, when you join a network, you will have access to a lot of tools. I'm not going to spend too much time on what's already on the slide. It's just to reiterate your opportunity to access, when I say, I've got 4 decades of business and experience, coaching, consulting, leading people, I go, well, maybe some of it's outdated. Actually, all of what we have today was built on some of those earlier sciences. Everything layers on top of historical sciences, historical experiences. So we're just really rebadging, relabeling a lot of things, or taking them and compressing them and putting them into more easily usable modules. And I've been through that journey, and that's why that experience and the number of tools and systems that we're able to deliver are staggering, and they help almost everyone that gets involved in that. Okay. Right now, we're giving away 90-day free access. It's not like it's expensive, but we just want to make sure that the people that join the network are serious about participating with others in the network. Okay. A lot of free networks out there, they're really just glorified methods of hooking people in so they can sell them stuff. We're trying to get away from that. We're really building a collaborative community. And so there will be a paid subscription down the road. All right, so don't be an island. Join us. Growth happens when you test your knowledge. You can't test your knowledge in isolation. You need to speak it. You need to share it. You need to express it. You need to behave it. And you need feedback from others, which is why, today you should never launch a product without having done a pilot of some sort. We've always called it pilot. We've called it prototypes prior to that. And today it's MVPs or whatever the acronym is. That's what I mean. We've just really changed the label, but we're doing the same things in a very similar way. Workflows were invented in the last 10 years. They've been around for over 100 years. Okay, so processes and design and all of that, we've just rebadged them. Now we call them workflows. Prior to that, they were business modeling. Okay, and prior to that, there was just flowcharts. We're just relabeling a lot of stuff. We need to get over the labels and focus on the activity and getting things done. Okay. So, wrapping up here, your next step is join, reach out, so you can access the tools, join the right mastermind groups, participate in the portal, get to know who else is there, and leverage the opportunity to collaborate with others like you. All right, so I'm going to probably pause here and just start to wrap up. I'll take questions as usual. We'll watch for the Q&A through the social media platforms. And if you need to reach me or you want to join us, BIQ.Network, and it's Nagui at BIQ.org.com. Well, I should say, often people ask me, how do I pronounce your name? The U is silent, it's Nagui. So please, I look forward to meeting you and talking to everybody. All right, so that's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed our session today, and I look forward to the chat and talking to you all. So thank you, and I'll see you on the network. Cheers.